Hello and welcome from wherever in Europe you are and beyond, if you are listening from beyond. I'm Jackie, I'm the Director of Operations here at the European Contact Centre and Customer Service Awards. And I'm really looking forward to not just taking you through this webinar, but also working with you on these awards again this year, right through the programme. Hopefully today we'll answer any questions that you have, but please use the chat function if you have any that I don't cover. Try to answer them as we're going along, but any that we don't get to, I will email you separately and make sure that you get the answers. So, okay, so working with me here at the ECCCSA team, it's not just me. I have got Mel, who's working with me as the awards manager. Jade is the event marketing manager. Colette will look after finalists and all the communications that will come out to you guys. Rachel will work with all the judges that we have, and Naomi will be there supporting not just the marketing, but the event as well. So when we get nearer the big night, she'll be the one that's chasing you for your dietaries and things like that. So yeah, very grateful to have such a great team around me. Just wanted to make sure you were familiar with all those names, because throughout the programme, you may well get emails from any of those lovely ladies working with me. Okay, so what are we going to cover today then? So I'm going to talk about what are the ECCCSAs. Now, there's your first clue, because you'll notice that European Contact Centre Customer Service Awards, we call them the ECCCSAs, so it's not such a mouthful. So there's your first top tip of the day. We're going to take a look at the categories. I'm going to walk you through the process for entering. I'm going to share some tips with you for writing a good entry. I'm going to tell you what to expect from the judging process this year. We're going to touch on the awards evening, and I'm going to tell you how you can get any additional support and help. Okay, so let's start with what are the ECCCSAs. Well, I'm biased, but I think that they are simply the best. They are the longest established. This year we are our 24th year. We are truly European, with 33 countries participating in 2023, and we've got more support from more partners across Europe than ever before. These awards are open to large and small organisations, because basically we want to recognise any size of organisations that are leading the way in delivering exceptional service. So, you know, organisations that value their people, continually innovate to improve the customer experience, and operate efficiently and effectively. We are highly regarded for our robust judging process. You know, when you win, you really know you've won. You really know that you've earned it. We do all face-to-face judging. And if you're in one of the categories where we come and visit you, we will fly all over Europe. Some trips are truly trains, planes and automobiles, but we will get to you. These awards are raising industry standards year on year across our wonderful industry. So last year's winners took part in a 3-day virtual event where we had nearly 1,000 people listen to many of the 2023 ECCCSA award-winning stories. This event is called the Exchange. It's an online conference, and we've done it the last couple of years. We've invited winners to tell their stories, and we'll be doing it again next year. And that's just an example of how these awards are really raising the industry standards. And we don't just celebrate with the winners on the night. We do it continually afterwards. We do it through social posts. We have a gold winners event sponsored by our headline sponsor, Sabio. And people say that winning is like winning an Oscar. But don't just take it from me. Let's hear from some of those winners how it feels to be a winner.
Of course, it was incredible for me. So when they said Fondebre Spain, you know, wow, my goodness, it was, I was like, ooh.
I mean, incredible when you think about how many companies enter the awards. To be a finalist is incredible.
When they first announced gold, You know, we literally, it sounds so like some really cheesy Oscars thing. It's not at all. We genuinely really went in there with an expectation that, do you know what, we think we've got a really good story and we think we've got a chance of being successful.
You have no idea, there's probably video that we screamed, you couldn't get rid of us on the stage, and I think we continued drinking till probably 5 a.m. and some of us continue even after we came back to Poland. Brilliant.
Once I heard the name, I was like, are you sure it was T-Tech Greece? You know, I was like looking at the screen, I'm like, are we sure? But yeah, it was definitely a very nice moment, and I still remember it, and it was very well celebrated also.
It's incredible just to kind of enter the extras, let alone get to the finals. And I think to come and get any sort of award through the process, I think is incredible.
Seeing the logo on the big screen, it was just amazing. It's outstanding. We were so happy. We had people at home, you know, just following, talking to us. Everybody was so happy.
Wow. Anybody being till AM? Okay, just a little taster there of how it feels for the winners. So this year, I am delighted to introduce you to Moira Clark, who is this year's Chair of Judges. She is Professor of Strategic Marketing at Henley Business School, and she's founder and director of the Henley Centre for Customer Management. She is a leading expert in strategic customer management. Her main areas of research and consulting are in customer management, customer centricity, customer experience, and the drivers of customer retention and service excellence. She has worked extensively in the area of culture and climate, its impact on retention, loyalty, and the critical linkages between employee behaviours and customer retention. So while I think you'll agree, she has perfect experience to fill this vital role. I very, very much look forward to working with her on this year's programme. So what else is new for 2024? Well, as usual, we reviewed the categories, but we took the opportunity to review much more than that. We take on board feedback from judges, finalists, winners, to ensure that the categories are still relevant to the industry, to make sure that all our processes still work. So we will see on there that as a result of that, we have new categories. I will come to them more later. We are continuing to extend our reach into Europe, as I said, with support from association and media partners from countries including France, Belgium, Portugal, Germany, Hungary, Ukraine and Turkey, to name just a few. This year, I've been really proud to be associated with the launch of ECCA, the European Customer Contact Alliance. This is a collaboration network for national customer contact membership bodies to share best practice and to raise the profile of the contact centre industry across Europe. And we've introduced sites of excellence. Those are visits where previous ECCA winners have invited many members of any of the ECCA partners to their sites. And you may have seen on those opening slides that there are 2 currently open for registrations. We are going to Lidl in Glasgow on the 13th of June, and we are going to Lego in Berlin on the 4th of July. Both winners from last year who are opening up their doors to share best practice. So if you are a member of any of those countries that are part of the ECCA organisation, then you will be able to register and join us at those events. Okay, so let's have a look at this year's categories. So the first group of categories, there's 3 groups of categories, and the first group is the operational excellence. There are descriptions for all these categories on the website. The operational excellence ones are firm favourites of the ECCAs, and you'll see them there listed. I'm not going to go through all of them. But the new ones, best fight against fraud. This recognises the increasing challenge of protecting your business and your customers against the risk of fraud. The most effective sales approach recognises the changing approach to growing revenue through your customer contact operation. The most effective strategic transformation programme is slightly different to the most effective improvement initiative, because the programme is talking about those major transformation programmes over several years that encompass many initiatives, whereas the most effective improvement initiative is just for one initiative. Peaks in demand still seem to appear from nowhere. I'm guessing that this horrendous rain over the last 24, 48 hours in the UK will have impacted calls into many organisations, and that there'll have been some peaks in demand. It might be a retail peak, it might be a weather-related peak, all kinds of other announcements that go on in the world that we live in. So that category is still there to recognise those organisations that handle those peaks really well. So yeah, have a good look at the operational excellent categories. And like I say, the descriptions are all on the website. The next group are the employee experience group of awards. The best customer-centric culture, I just wanted to touch on that. Don't get that confused with the culture category, which is best employee experience. Best customer-centric culture. That is, it's not about the culture, i.e. your colleague well-being and your retention, your recruitment policies and things like that. This is about where your culture absolutely puts the customer at the centre of everything that you do. So the best employee experience, that's your culture category. That's your great place to work category. That's where we're looking for a fabulous all-round culture. So all your colleague activities are in that one: recruitment, learning, flexible working, your remuneration, the well-being, all of that stuff is wrapped up in that category. Of course, you've got best approach to diversity, equity, inclusion and belonging in there. You've got greatest environment, social and governance impact. Again, that's broader, so it reflects that wide range of activities you're doing to impact this important subject. So have a look at those if you think you've got great colleague experience going on in your organisation. And the last group of awards is the customer experience group of awards. The new one on there is the best approach to supporting vulnerable customers. So this is looking for those organisations who have the best practices in place to support customers with additional needs or vulnerabilities. A couple of others I just want to call out on this slide. So one that was popular that we introduced last year is the best customer service into Europe. This is for any organisations that are delivering great customer service to customers in Europe, but from anywhere in the world. So if your customer is in Europe, but you're delivering from an operation outside of Europe, this is your category. Best contact strategy, the first one. This is one of the more strategic categories that focuses on you understanding your customers and delivering the right contact strategy for them. So you're considering all channels, you know, voice, web chat, self-serve, how they all go together. So that's really what that one's about. Best use of data, so that does include using the insight from that data as well. And it's broader to encompass all your data insights, so whether it's customer insight, colleague insight, performance insight, whatever that insight is, and the impact that then that can have on the customer experience if you're using that right. Best customer experience redesign. That is about where you've changed a process and it was initiated to improve the customer experience. Sometimes we get entries where it was an application of technology. Oh, and by the way, it resulted in an improvement to the customer experience. But this is designed for those organisations that have purposely gone about redesigning one of the processes for the customer experience and take us on that journey. Remember, best multilingual customer service. That's not just about one contact centre, it's about how you deliver multilingual customer service. And it's not just about how many languages you speak neither. It's more than that. It's how you cater for all the cultures of both your colleagues and your customers for those countries whose languages you are delivering great customer service to. Contact centre of the year is then for your in-house contact centres. I'm going to come to outsourced contact centres in a bit more detail in a second. Pan-European is it for any organisations where you've got sites in more than one European country. And the last night of the last award of the night will go to the organisation with the best customer experience. What an accolade that would be for your organisation. Okay, so I said I was going to just talk about outsourcing in a little bit more detail. So here's some advice for the outsourcers that are looking to enter the awards this year. Of course, all the categories are open to outsourcers that are based in Europe, with the one exception of Contact Centre of the Year, because that is for in-house operations. So I thought I'd highlight 4 categories that are particularly pertinent to outsourcers. So Best BPO Partnership. This is designed for organisations that have a great partnership with their business process outsourcing, their BPO partner. And that will have been in place for more than 12 months and can demonstrate results that show how the customer and the employee is benefiting from the partnership. With these entries, we expect both the outsourcer and the client to submit a joint entry and be present at any subsequent judging. You'll notice that I did say that's been in place for more than 12 months there. If it's less than 12 months, it would go into the best new customer contact operation. Outsourced Contact Centre of the Year. So that is for outsourced contact centres that are located at a single site or in one country. And these entries should include 2 or more client case studies that evidence how you manage clients, how you value your colleagues, and how you do business and are developing your proposition. Best Pan-European Customer Contact Operation is for any organisation, outsourcers in it or in-house, if you've got contact centres in multiple countries. And lastly, customer service into Europe, which, as I mentioned, is for when you are delivering great customer service to customers in Europe from anywhere in the world. So hope that's useful for any outsourcers out there that are watching or wanting to enter this year. Okay, so how do you enter? So all entries are done online and you get to the entry portal through the ECCCSA website, which will take you to a dedicated and secure nomination section of the site. So you'll see there it's www.eccsa.com. It's simple and it's easy. And as it says, you can revisit your nomination as many times as you like and keep editing right up until the deadline. Please note that deadline, as we don't extend, we never extend the deadline. So your entry needs to be with us by midnight on the 19th of July. The early bird is a great saving, and of course you can make as many entries as you like. You'll see there that that early bird offer is until the 7th of June, and it's on single entries too, not just multiple entries. There's also an offer on multiple entries when the early bird closes. Those prices are plus VAT if you are UK based, but I'm going to tell you, if you're not in the UK, how you can avoid that extra charge. Okay, so let's have a look what the screens look like. So registration is, as I said, very easy. This is where you will go on and either register for the first time or you will log on. If you're registering for the first time, you'll click the link in the verification email that you receive, and that enables you to set up your unique username and password for the site. And once registered, you just come here every time to log in. Okay. So, as I've said, it's really easy. Once you're logged into the nomination site, you just start your entry by category, you fill in all the fields that are there, and then you submit your entry to your shopping cart. And then you can carry on starting however many more entries you want to, and then you submit those. So let's have a look what the screens look like. Okay. So there's four tabs across the top of the 4 when you go into it. The first one is entry details, which is shown here. You can see that there's drop-down arrows where you choose the category, so you can't go wrong. Give your entry a name so you know which one it relates to. Use something that you understand internally. So if you're doing multiple entries, you'll know which one it is. Once you pick the category, a helpful description of that category will come up. When you get to the end of each page, wherever you are on this nomination form, just keep pressing save and next, and it will save everything that you've done so far. And remember, as I said to you then, you can go back and edit your entry as many times as you like until the deadline. You'll see where that little red box is there, that red PDF logo. You can download your entry, so you can share it internally, get feedback, and that's quite a useful little feature where you can print off the questions, print off what you've done so far, etc. Then you will come to the contact information tab, okay? So we ask you to make sure that the information on this tab is really accurate, particularly the organisation name, as it's what we'll use right up to the award being announced on stage and engraved on the trophies. So often we get PLC or limited at the end, and we know that that's not how you know. So please tell us the organisation name as you want to be referred to. You'll be asked for your country on this page here as well. So for all categories except the best customer service into Europe, the organisation or teams that are nominated are to reside in Europe. Projects are to have been designed and delivered in Europe, but they can support a global customer base. And organisations that enter are to focus on putting forward their European operations. Then we come to the nomination questions. This is the main body of the entry, and the questions will vary depending on the category you are entering. There's some new helpful guidance this year. You'll see it there on the right-hand side. There's some hints and tips of what you might want to put in your nomination form. And the last tab that you'll see on the top there is the supporting materials tab. So this is where you can add supporting information. My advice would be not to overload the judges. Provide relevant results, relevant surveys, videos if you like, structure charts, things like that. If you think they're useful, then let us have them, but don't overload the judges would be my top tip there. It will then ask you for your billing information. This is what that looks like. You can pay by credit card there and then, or you can be invoiced and then put it through your internal finance processes. If you pay by credit card, there is an additional 3% processing fee added. For all entries from outside the UK, if you enter your EU VAT number, which you'll see down on the right-hand side at the bottom of the screen there, then you won't be charged the VAT. And you'll see on the left-hand side there where it says add more entries to the cart. So that's where you can just keep adding more entries to the cart, and then it will all come through on one invoice. We'll apply all those discounts for you, and that's how that works. So I mentioned the early bird. How do you get the early bird? Well, you don't get the early bird offer unless you pay by the 7th of June. So I recommend that you start this process as soon as you can. Do it early because some organisations do have payment processes that delay things, and I wouldn't want you to miss that offer if you intend on doing it. Remember that I said you can keep editing after submitting. So after you've submitted, after you've paid, you can keep editing, any of you, right up until midnight on the 19th of July. That is the one that we are going to be putting in front of the judges. Okay. So any other Jackie Pringle advice for you? So I'm not a judge, but what I hear is that the judges are looking for an overview of your achievements. So tell them all. They want metrics to evidence your success. One of the biggest pieces of feedback I get from judges is that there was no data. Not just data as in these are the current results. show the trend, show what was the starting point, where are you now, what's the improvement been. And again, some companies will say, well, we've improved by X%, but that doesn't mean anything to them because they don't know the starting point and they don't know the end point. So really think about the metrics and the data to back up anything you are saying, and make sure it doesn't only tell part of the story. It needs to tell them the full story. Address each point in the judging criteria, and I'm going to share the judging criteria with you in a moment. We are very, very transparent with the judging criteria. It's in the toolkit. I'm going to tell you now. It's on our website. And so make sure that you are covering everything that they are looking for. Be clear and be concise, and make it easy for the judges to understand your nomination. Only provide information that's relevant to your category. I know that sometimes we want to tell the judges everything, but if it's not relevant to that category, it's diluting the message and it's just overcomplicating it. So avoid internal jargon. I know we all fall into it. That's quite difficult. Highlight your achievements that are industry leading and provide relevant examples. So, you know, again, shout from the rooftops and tell the judges how you've done something. Don't just tell them what you've done, tell them how. If there were challenges along the way, the judges love to hear about that, and they love to hear how you've overcome some of those challenges. I can see a few questions in the chat here, so I'm going to address them. The KPI information in the entries, judges tend to look for the last 12 months, or you can do January to December 2023, but then give an update on where you are currently, because, gosh, we are now end of May, aren't we, 24? So as long as you say what that data is relating to, I would try and do it to as current as possible. It's not free to enter for CCMA members. Those charges apply to anybody that is entering from anyone across Europe. So I hope that just answers those two questions. Is there any other advice I can give you there? I think that the other thing I would say here is when potential entrants phone and talk to me, I always say to them, you know, just make sure that you are thinking about customer, you're thinking about colleagues, you're thinking about commercial, you're really thinking about that balanced scorecard. And as I said, don't just talk about the situation and what the tasks were, really focus on the actions that you took, and then don't forget to mention the results as well. Okay. So the judging process. I think we're okay with questions so far. So the judging process, as I just touched on there, we do have a judging criteria that we share freely, and you'll see it on screen in a moment now. So we have the purpose, we have what was the impact, we have what was the experience, we have the innovation, what was that, and what was the best practice. In both the online submission and during any face-to-face judging that follows, the judges are looking for nominations that tell a clear story, the motivations, the deliverables, and like I say, how those results were achieved. They love to know about what lessons were learned along the way and how those challenges were overcome. And they also like to know what's next in your journey, is something that I hear quite a lot as well. They are looking for the evidence of the impact of what's been delivered, and also how that nomination benchmarks against other organisations. So, as I said, it's in the toolkit, it's on the website, it's open and transparent for all to see. So make sure that you use that when you are putting your nominations together. If you are then going forwards, you've got your entries in, everything's paid up, there is 2 stages of judging. So stage 1, all the nominations will be reviewed online by a panel of expert judges to identify a short list of finalists for each category. If you are a finalist, You will then be invited to some face-to-face judging carried out via a remote presentation or a showcase visit. So virtual panel presentations, they've worked well in the last few years, so we're going to carry on doing those virtually, saving you having to travel and saving time out of the office. Panel will be end of September and into October. And showcase visits are for contact centre of the year categories, including best new customer contact operation, best contact centre, best outsourced contact centre, best employee experience. So for those ones, we will come out, we will visit you in your workplace. And like I say, that doesn't matter where you are. And you can take your judges on, we'll give you an agenda to follow, you can present to them and you can take them on a tour of the site. Okay. All our judges are industry experts, many are past winners themselves. You'll absolutely love the judging experience if you are lucky enough to be put in front of the judges. Okay, so I said I was going to touch on the awards evening, and so I am. It is the biggest awards in Europe. The entertainment is absolutely fantastic. And the feeling when people are there and they win, I think we heard before, they said it's like winning an Oscar. It truly is an amazing, amazing night. And I just love when I go back and look at the pictures from previous years. Of course, it's an opportunity to get your teams together for you to achieve external recognition. So it's Tuesday, the 26th of November at Evolution in London. Tickets for the awards evening will go on sale on the 21st of August when we announce the finalists. Tickets will include pre-dinner drinks reception, 4-course meal, unlimited beer, wine and soft drinks all evening, and entertainment throughout the evening. I'm delighted to confirm that Fiona Bruce is hosting again, and of course we will have a celebrity legend as well. So I do hope that you'll be able to join us on the night. If you need any support at any point along the journey, I'm here, as are the rest of the team. So visit www.exa.com. There's lots of information on there. You can download the toolkit that's on there that I've referenced a few times this morning. You can follow #EXA on LinkedIn for lots of tips and advice, and you'll see all the posts coming through on there. If you want advice on which categories to enter, or you've got any questions, please talk to us. If you email info@exa.com or you call the main number, then I am really happy to call you back, email you back, and we can talk anything through. I can just see a question there that's come in. So let me just see if I can answer that. Yeah, okay, I think it's already been answered. So I think we are up to date. I'll go back through the questions when we finished. And like I say, any that I may have missed while I've been talking, I'll make sure that I come back to you. So all that remains for me to say then is good luck. And just to send you off into the rest of your day, I'm going to leave you with a 3-minute highlights video from last year so you can just see how wonderful it is. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you found it useful. As I say, we are absolutely here to help you. So if you need us, please reach out. Have a great rest of day, rest of week, and I'm going to leave you with that highlights video.
Good evening everyone, and welcome to the European Contact Centre and Customer Service Awards 2023. As your chair of judges, I'd like to welcome you all to London, Some of you have travelled a long way to be here, from all across Europe and beyond. A record 36 countries participated this year.
God, you all look great. Very, very, very nice to be here. Real pleasure to be with you once again. Welcome you to the European Contact Centre and Customer Service Awards 2023. This is the 23rd edition of these awards, which is incredible.
Tonight's event is a celebration of your achievements. Those being honoured, nominees and winners alike, are doing inspirational work. With the quality of submissions this year again raising an already exceptionally high bar, the organisations who have been shortlisted for an award tonight are raising the standards of excellence in this industry. Congratulations to you.